A
bit more.
And I could sit.
Yeah, and then maybe you move a little bit more to the right.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Is that pleasing aesthetically?
Is that pleasing to you? Yeah, I think that looks good.
Yeah, so nice, and you just got like a super light, portable setup. You know?
Well, that's what I really like about this as well, because it's like it's not really podcast style because it's more video interview, but it's really easy for me to take it on the road. Like I can go to people's houses, I can just take this with me to America and just do interviews there. It's like most podcasts, you need to like organise the time to meet up and come to the studio and all this, but I'm just like, hey, whatever time you're free, let me know, and come around and film like a little interview.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, awesome. I like how you got good right there. Good branding.
Got my questions. All right, so pretty much I'll start off sitting down. I'll do like a little introduction for you.
Yep.
And then you just come and sit down and.
Are you just going to keep it recording?
Yeah, just keep it recording.
Yeah, sweet.
And then I'll.
Real simple.
Okay.
No, like,
I'm so used to like complete opposite.
Mikey talking very like. Just keep it real.
Yeah. And then
Small. The less the better. The less
the less the better. Yeah. I need basic. Then we'll clap you in when you come sit down. Just like a little audience.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Alright, episode 17. Alright. G'day legends, welcome back to Mikey Talk. Today we have episode 17. It's another really special guest episode. On the road this time in the beautiful sunny Byron Bay, getting out of the gloomy Melbourne winter. This guest is a really special guy. I've been good friends with him for a while, doing some incredible things in Melbourne, and exciting photographer. And I'd like to introduce you to James Rush. Welcome, James.
Thanks, man. Jeez, what an intro.
You like that?
It's getting a little teary-eyed as you're saying it.
How do you like it here in Byron?
Oh man, I love it. This is my second home. I just feel relaxed. I can think. I'm eating clean, going to the gym every day, going to the beach. Yeah, it's heaven.
You're looking beautiful.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah.
All right.
First time I've put a little bit of gel in for a little while.
Shampooed and fresh.
Yeah.
I got 10 amazing questions lined up for you.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, started. So you started Hot 91, a community radio in Canberra at 19 years old. What was that experience like, and how did that lead to you ending up in LA?
Oh man, you've gone way back. I love it. This was literally the start of my whole journey. At the time, I was an R&B hip hop DJ, and I got offered this opportunity to take over the community radio show. And this was, I guess, like the start of my entrepreneurship journey. It was one of those things where the guys that were hosting the show before me, they were keeping it really, just basic, weren't doing much with it, and I saw that as my window of opportunity. So this is where, at the time, I had a girlfriend. I brought her along to co-host it. I got a logo made, got a website made. Back then, this is 2002 or 2003. So this is going way back. So if you had a website back in those days and a logo, that was a big deal. And I deemed it as Canberra's #1 R&B and hip hop show, which meant the only R&B and hip hop show. So what I did, and this is also showing the time that I was in, we didn't have DMs, we didn't have Instagram and social media like we do now. I had to go to the newsagent and I would pick up magazines for 30, 45 minutes. So as an example, I'd pick up like Vogue magazine, not that that was the one I was going for, but just to make it nice and simple. And I would go to the contacts page in the back of Vogue, find all these email addresses, and then I would just start emailing everyone. And then that led to interviewing Chris Brown, Bob Marley's son, Damian Marley, for the Australian audience, Chopper. I actually interviewed Chopper Reid.
Sick.
all these incredible people that you just wouldn't have expected to come from a community radio show in Canberra that honestly no more than 5 people were listening to, and that 5 was my mum. So I'm just a big believer of, you get given an opportunity and then you just push it till the wheels fall off, and that's how I ended up in America. I interviewed a DJ. I didn't know who he was at the time. I got a phone call. I built a relationship with Universal Music in Sydney, and they were like, Rush, we've got this DJ, he's in LA, let's do an interview. And I was like, all right. And his name was DJ Ski. Did the interview, had a great chat, and then at the end, I was like, hey man, any chance I might be able to do an internship with you? And he's like, yeah, man, you seem pretty cool. Like, here's my email address. Emailed him. 6 weeks later, I'm in LA doing this internship. I only knew where I was staying for 2 nights.
Wow.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into. By this stage, I was 22 years old. My mum was freaking out. I barely had any money behind me, but I was just like, I need to go to the mecca of opportunity, and off I went.
Sick. And that was the first time in America?
First time in America.
Yeah.
So I was extremely nervous coming from Canberra. I hadn't seen much. I was, very fresh, but willing to work and do anything. So I literally slept on the carpet of a band that I met on the second day, slept on their carpet for a couple months. I was living in this all Mexican neighborhood where I was literally one of the only white dudes. There was shootings, there was all types of crazy stuff. Didn't tell my mum that, but it really shaped my character, gave me confidence, because I went over there extremely shy, but I had the inner confidence, but I didn't know how to, market myself, talk about myself. And being around, these Americans full of confidence and willing to give me an opportunity. I think that, and the fact that they believed in me was the big factor.
Yeah, cool. Can you tell us about the Kendrick Lamar story?
Oh, yeah. So, this is a funny one. So, because I was doing this internship with DJ Ski, he was actually the DJ for The Game. And at the time, The Game was like the biggest rapper in the world. This is when the beef with 50 Cent was going on. So I went to a music video in Compton, and it was for The Game's music video. Once again, it was just me and DJ Ski, the only white guys there. It was a very actually dangerous situation, but it was like one of the most memorable days of my life. And a few people there that now everyone will know the names. There was Snoop Dogg, there was a singer called Tyrese, and there was this young little chubby dude with a bad haircut called K-Dot, aka Kendrick Lamar. And I got introduced to him, and I got introduced to a bunch of other rappers. And what was really interesting at the time, I guess was really mimicking the American culture, and I didn't think that they would be interested in wanting to do anything with me because I was from Canberra. I'm from Australia. How can I help any of these guys? But the funny thing was that they loved that I was different and I had the Australian accent. So what was actually hilarious is that these gangster rappers from Compton and South Central LA wanted to work with me because I was a DJ, I was doing mixtapes, but they wanted my Australian accent on the mixtapes. So I did a mixtape for one local LA rapper, and then that featured Kendrick Lamar and a bunch of these other guys, and then I got introduced to another well-known rapper who was completely unknown at the time. His name was Tiger. So I did Tiger's first mixtape. I did the photography as well, and then that's when I got reintroduced to Kendrick Lamar. And it's pretty crazy. Like Tiger, there's one song, it's Tiger featuring Kendrick Lamar and another big West Coast rapper around that time called J-Rock. And on that track, Tiger's rapping about, he's got a line where he goes, "Oh, from Compton to Australia," talking about DJ Rush. I was DJ Rush. So it was just like, insane to think. And then I formed a relationship with Kendrick Lamar's team. And I guess fast forwarding a couple of years, this was 2006, 2007. And then fast forward 2012, I'm now at this stage a photographer working with Ruby Rose. We're on tour and we're about to board onto a flight. And then I see a bunch of like African American dudes, coming towards the flight, lining up to get on. And then I'm like, wait a minute, it's Kendrick Lamar. And I knew his DJ really well at this time. And he's like, "Yo, Kendrick, this is DJ Ski's prodigy, remember? DJ Rush." And so, we were like, "Oh, what's up, man? How you been?" Blah, blah, blah. So I ended up introducing Kendrick Lamar to Ruby Rose. And then we ended up going to Kendrick Lamar's show. They invited us to the show. And I've got this amazing photo of Ruby Rose standing out the front of the, Kendrick Lamar sold out in Perth. And it's just like this crazy kind of cycle that happened over a number of years.
That's hectic. And to see what they've all kind of become in years after is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And that's why relationships are so important. These relationships I built back in 2006, I still have so many, now, 19 years on.
Yeah.
But yeah, relationships are crucial, and, being good to people. And not that it's all about, they might become famous or they might become a somebody in the future, but I'm a big believer of I treat people how I want to be treated. Doesn't matter if, K. Dot or Kendrick Lamar at the time was a nobody. I still treated him with all the respect like I would now if I was, not that I would meet him again now. Hopefully he might remember me, maybe not.
DJ Rush, the prodigy.
Yeah.
Sick, that's awesome. You've shot commercials for Kobe, Tom Brady, and Paris Olympics. Can you tell us the story of how you landed one of those campaigns?
Yep. I always get asked about the Kobe Bryant one. So I guess, this is a combination of relationships over a number of years, but it started with Patty Mills. So Patty Mills is another big basketball player, Australian basketball player. Before he made the NBA, I started messaging him on Facebook and, building that relationship. I worked with Patty Mills for a number of years. So I built this niche in the Australian market of specializing in sport that was inspired by hip hop. So I was working with athletes with that hip hop gritty look and feel. So at the time there wasn't really any other Australian athletes that were in the NBA. So I became, I guess you could say, like the trustworthy videographer, film director that had worked with NBA players. So when the opportunity for Kobe came, they were like, all right, who are we going to get? Rush. He's the only one that we think that we can trust to work with someone like Kobe, because what I've learned over the years too, it's not about having the best work, it's about can you be trusted and responsible with these high profile people. Are you going to say or do something stupid? This is what they repeated to me in the meetings, like, we want to work with you because you specialize in basketball and sport and you've worked with other NBA players, you've been around celebrities, we know you're not going to do or say anything stupid, because they had these great big contracts with Kobe, the people that were bringing him out, and there's all these things about not talking to him and being respectful, and he's got certain requirements. So essentially, that's how it came about, through previous work and approvals from other people. How
was it in that meeting? Was that like the biggest caliber of meeting you'd had at that point?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because I'm a big time basketball fan, and Kobe's like God. So to get that opportunity, I was just like, damn, okay, like, I can't believe it. I didn't actually believe that it was actually going to happen. Because I'm one of those people that until I'm there in the moment, I don't get my hopes up too much, because I've had things similar in the past sound like they're going to happen and then they don't. So I was like, is Kobe actually coming? Are they going to, because things can change very quickly with high profile people. Like, you might be given the opportunity and then on the day they're like, nah, he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, so I've definitely experienced that. Now it's like, I know what you mean. It's not until you're actually there shooting or even after it that you're like, okay, that actually happened. Nothing's guaranteed.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. Right now we're here in Byron Bay, which is the spot. And I know you love visiting it as well. What draws you back here, and how does this place influence your creative work?
Man, great question. Byron's a very special place to me, because in a place like, it's not just Melbourne, any big city, in 2025, like, I'm on my phone all the time, I'm at a computer screen, I'm getting phone calls, I'm distracted by so many different, like, it's noisy, there's a lot going on. I try and be very disciplined and structured, but I get tempted, by social media. And for me, like, coming to Byron is a chance to put the phone down. Like, my screen time is literally 50% less than when I'm in Melbourne. So it's literally a time to come and clear my mind, get thoughts, get inspired again, like, without being all hippie, but, going to the beach and, like, I don't meditate, but, like, I will sit and try and watch every sunset every night and just be, like, grateful for, the journey where I'm at, and I'm trying to plan the next couple months, next couple years, and just have time to think. Like, that's purely what it is. Look after my health, because I've realized too, like, as a creative, like, I try and treat myself like an athlete. You've got to sleep well, you've got to eat well. I want to go to the gym all the time, because I believe it starts with your your fitness. If I'm fit and healthy, then my mind is going to be a lot more active and inspired and clear, and then that's going to in return help my creativity and good ideas. So
yeah, sick. And then you come back to Melbourne and you're really refreshed and ready to go.
Yeah, the battery's charged and I'm good to go.
Yeah, sick. So back to the NBA for a little bit. So you've worked with players like Seth Curry, Ben Simmons, Patty Mills and Jamal Murray, which I love that interview.
Yeah.
What's the most unexpected thing that you've learnt about these athletes when the cameras aren't rolling?
They're humans. I think so often you can't help it, but you put people on pedestals and they have the same problems just like you and I. Like they get nervous before, the interview, or they're worried about, certain things that I wouldn't have expected. But they're just a lot of the time very humble, chill guys. And it's just that, like I said, you can't put people on pedestals. It's good to admire people and good to respect people. That's really important, but almost not. If you're going to work with them, this is what I mean by putting them on pedestals. Like they almost feel like untouchable, which can, I believe, can actually affect you because you feel like, oh, I'm not worthy to be here. Because I felt like that so many times. I'm like, oh man, like is this guy embarrassed to be here with me? Like I'm not like a big time dude, like with millions of followers. But you have to believe that, no, like you deserve to be here.
Is that something you worked out pretty early on doing this?
Oh yeah, I think. Look, it's that confidence thing. Like I'm being consistent. Like I never really wanted to interview people, but I forced myself to get in front of the camera and learn new skills. I always say get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and push. I always want to push myself. I never want to get stagnant and still be in the same spot that I was a year ago, 2 years ago. So I'm always looking at, okay, what can I improve on, in this year.
Yeah, sick. Your one-shot business is growing rapidly with coaching and community building. What made you pivot to teaching others the craft?
Well, it's funny, it just happened naturally. Like the way it actually started was I had a lot of my close friends leave Melbourne due to COVID. So I was literally chilling in my office one day and I was like, damn, I need some new friends. They've all left. So I was like, what can I do? And I was like, all right, I'm going to put on a photography meetup. So I literally thought I'll go to a cafe, maybe 7 or 8 people will come and I'll just do a one-off. Then the first one I did, I think there was about 35 people that came, and then I was like, oh, that was a lot of fun, I enjoyed it, let's do another one. So a month later, I did the second one, and then 400 people signed up for that. A month later, I did it in a different city, 400 people came to that one, and I was like, okay, there's something here. Initially it was just a bit of fun, and then I realized like, oh, you know what, I really love bringing people together, I love giving back, and I've got a lot to offer in terms of what I've learned over the years. And I think for me, I've got a saying at One Shot, it's called frame your dream. And I really want to encourage people to dream big. Because I think in Australia, tall poppy syndrome, small town mentality that, we have a lot of the time, we're not encouraged like to dream big. Think outside your town or your city or your country, because now is literally the best time to be a creative, an entrepreneur. And I want to encourage people, like you can literally do anything. If you're in Canberra, you can create content, and that one post or that one video can not only change your life, but it can change someone else's life. So it's about helping people to dream big and achieve their goals. And I'm a firm believer of no gatekeeping, because I had so much gatekeeping when I was coming up. I was desperately after knowledge, but so often people wouldn't give it to me because they were afraid that I would come in and take their spot. Whereas now I'm like, no, like power in numbers, like let's work together. Like if I win, you win, like this is great. So that's the mentality behind it.
I was at that first event at the
I was going to say you were there, bro.
Yeah.
Longer hair too.
Yeah, I did. And I think the biggest takeaway that I had from that was everyone was just stoked to be there. And I think being able to interact with each other and just share. I remember there was one part where you got everyone to just pick one of their favorite photos they'd taken and get into like a small group of like 2 or 3 and share that behind. And it was a really cool feeling.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I use that game now at all my events and workshops, and it just breaks the ice, because you can go to networking events, but so often the networking isn't as good as you expect it, because people don't force you to network and play games, so often.
Yeah.
So, because photographers, a lot of the time, they're introverts, and, I'm a lot more confident now speaking and in front of the camera, but a couple of years ago, I definitely wasn't. So I know what it's like to be an introvert, afraid to put myself out there. So, yeah, I really want to help build people's confidence.
Yeah, and I remember feeling out of place because I'm not a photographer. So when it got to that bit, I'm like, oh shit, like,
yeah.
Someone's like, just go through your phone, like find a photo you take. And so like, there's all these people that have epic photos, and then I just like found some photo I'd taken off my phone in America or somewhere. But to have people still excited and wanting to hear the story behind it and whatnot, it was very inclusive to everyone.
Well, that's right. It's the storytelling.
Yeah.
So that's what it's more based around. I always say to people, even if it's your dog, just show your dog, but tell the story behind it. Why does that dog mean so much to you? Or why did that experience in America mean so much to you? It's just, you start realizing like, oh, we've all got a lot in common. Like, I thought I was just the weird one, but you're weird as well. Let's be friends.
Yeah, it was sick. So you specialize in athletic content inspired by hip hop. How did you discover that intersection and what makes it so powerful?
So my whole life, I've been obsessed with basketball, photography, and hip hop. So I was always trying to find ways to make a living off these three things. Initially, started playing basketball. I'm somewhat tall, but not tall enough to be a professional, and my skills were good, but not good enough to go pro. So I always wanted to be in that basketball space. And then I started taking photos. So I started taking photos of basketball players, and then the DJ career kind of took off a bit more. And then I was just like, oh man, like, how can I incorporate all these things together? So then, I naturally started doing hip hop music videos, which as social media changed, led to doing commercials, and started, building relationships with athletes. And then it all just kind of kept connecting. And I guess learning more about niches and how to build a business and how to attract the right people. I understood, there's a lot of people out there who are really into basketball and hip hop, and particularly now, content. So that's essentially, how it's all kind of come together but evolved over the years. And I've just always specialized in that area because it's what I'm passionate about. And I'm a big believer too. If you can find something that you're really passionate about, push it to the max, but then learn the business aspect to go with it, it's like the ultimate way to live life. Yeah,
because then you're enjoying it, especially if you are into NBA and then all of a sudden you're working with Kobe and doing all these things. It doesn't feel like work. You're buzzing every day.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, especially 20 years ago when I started all of this, I was like, there's no way that this is going to be possible. But I just kept pushing it. Thankfully, I come from a creative family, and my mum loved the fact that, I was being creative. So I was encouraged, which was really good. And like I said, went to LA, put myself in the deep end, and realized this is possible. People are making money as a DJ or a basketball player or a photographer. So I think seeing others achieve it is what gave me hope.
You see, it's possible. Tell me about the For My People project with Patty Mills and what it was like documenting an Indigenous NBA player's journey.
Oh man, this was a total game changer for me. Not just learning how to storytell, but the importance of, particularly as a white dude, that I come from a family where we don't have strong culture, we don't have a dance, we don't have traditional food. And, learning from Patty, I essentially became part of his family for a number of years. He took me out to all these remote communities on the Torres Strait. I went out to a place called Sejuna, which is the middle of nowhere in Adelaide, and I was experienced to these incredible situations that not many people would experience, especially blonde, blue-eyed dude with a camera, So I learned a number of things how to storytell, how to be respectful, how to be patient, but more so on a deeper level was the importance of community and family and storytelling in the not just a video and photography sense, but the elders and the leaders of the community on the Torres Strait or in the Aboriginal communities that get up and talk about, this is what the stars mean to us, and this is why we fish, and it was really moving and really touching, and it made me understand also the power that I have as a filmmaker and as a storyteller. I can create a video that really moves people. It's not just about taking a photo of a pretty girl on a beach or a sunset. I can actually create a video in 90 seconds that literally can bring people to tears. So I was really fortunate that I built this connection with Paddy, and he trusted in me. Because I look back at it now, I'm like, it's a crazy thing, you know. Not that it's all about race and this type of thing, but for him to put full trust into me, I don't have a Indigenous background, and he allowed me to come into that space and open up. Like, I had a lot of conversations with Paddy where it's just he and I like this, and he's sitting there just bawling his eyes out, talking about all the racism that he faced, and, you know, just thinking, fuck, he's like trusting me to tell this story. Because you could see he hadn't told these stories to many people, if not any.
Yeah.
So we've built this like incredible bond. I ended up going to his wedding, spent a lot of time with him, you know, just personally as well. So yeah, it completely changed my life in so many ways.
That's incredible. And it came from cold Facebook DMs? Like, is that how it started?
It came from a cold Facebook DM. At the time I had a clothing brand, and I was more interested in him wearing my clothing brand. So what's kind of crazy is that he ended up flying me over to America. This is when I was a DJ as well. So I was a DJ, had a clothing brand. He flew me to America to DJ a private party to the San Antonio Spurs.
What the hell?
So I was in this like small bar with 30 people, and there's Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, all these like NBA legends, and I'm with my turntables, like hands are shaking, like, oh my God, what am I gonna play? But you know, like, he changed my whole life in so many ways, giving me these opportunities. When you've got someone that believes in you, I think that's a huge factor, you know. And yeah, it just opened up my world, the connections I made, the relationships that I built. But it was more the confidence and someone believing in you. And he was always like, oh bro, like, so he'd call me Bella. Bella means in his culture brother. So like, he'd call me Bella Rush. Like, Bella Rush, man, like, your photos are crazy. So for me, thinking this NBA player thinks my photos are good, like, that was like such a confidence boost. So,
that's sick.
Yeah.
Was Popovich at the party getting down?
Yeah, he wasn't at the party, but I actually got to interview him, part of the documentary. So it was probably one of the most nervous periods like I'd ever experienced. Like, I got to interview a lot of the big basketball players, but interviewing him was a whole nother level, because he's like, you know, the general. You know, he's like got so much respect. He's known as like a hard dude. But when I interviewed him, he was like such a kind, you know, man, and spoke so fondly of Paddy. You could see he really, really had a special bond with Paddy. Yeah. And I guess, like, you know, on a bigger level, it's like sport brings people together, but it's so much bigger than sport. And I guess, like, that's what I'm seeing with, you know, what I'm doing with photography and sport and the community. You know, people come for one thing, but then there's all these relationships and other elements that stem from that.
Yeah, sick, man. So you've travelled between the USA and Australia for 20 years. What's the most challenging shoot you've done, and how did you pull it off? You're
probably going to suss in the grey hair, you know, 20 years, yeah.
No, you can barely see
it. What was the most challenging one?
Shoot, yeah.
Oh, man, it's a good question. I guess, like, I mean, it was probably the Paddy one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because at the time, the plan in the beginning was only to do a 6-minute, like, little hype video for YouTube, and then he ended up winning the NBA championship a couple months after we came up with the idea, and then the video went viral. Like, we put out a trailer, the video went viral, and then all these expectations were thrown onto me, you know, like, oh, let's do a Netflix feature, and, you know, I got an agent in America, and I was getting phone calls from, like, we ended up getting interviewed on Sunrise Australia and all these newspapers and the radio. So at the time it was great, but I was like, holy shit, like, what have I got myself into here? Like, this is way out of my depth. You know, I'm only used to doing like 1-minute highlight videos, and doing a 6-minute video enough was going to, you know, be a challenge, let alone dealing with, you know, Indigenous culture and racism, and his mum's from the stolen generation, and so I had to learn all about, you know, these areas, and it was amazing, but so challenging at the same time. And then, you know, particularly when you're dealing with politics and racism, and it was a lot to take on, but I had to grow and mature and just learn a lot. I mean, actually, a crazy story was Paddy his manager was a part of the biggest marketing company in the world called CAA. So their head office is in Beverly Hills. So this company, literally, they manage like Kanye West, 50 Cent, like all the big stars. I took my first cut of the documentary and showed it at their head office in Beverly Hills in their cinema.
Jesus.
With staff around, and they're sitting there just like tearing it apart, you know.
Fuck.
It was even just like an experience like that.
Yeah.
It was insane, you know. So, I mean, this is the thing, right? Start with a good idea. No pun intended, but you start with a good idea, and then you push it, and who knows where you can end up. So that's why I say dream big, push it, believe in yourself. You know, don't think small, and who knows where you could end up.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. All right, so we've made it all the way through the interview. There's only one question left.
Oh man, here we go. It's gonna be a tough one, huh?
Looking back at that 19-year-old self on the community radio show, what advice would you give to him if you could?
I would say be proud of who you are and be proud of where you're from. I think especially coming from Canberra, it was not cool to be from Canberra. Being into hip hop, especially being into, you know, like NBA basketball and hip hop, it's a lot of black culture, and I learned from all of that. It's so important to be true to yourself, be proud of who you are, be proud of where you're from. Don't try and be something that you're not. It's healthy to fail. You know, it's very important to fail. Yeah, it's crazy. I look back at that young dude, I'm like, man, you got some balls, man. Like, yeah, keep going.
Represent Canberra.
I see Canberra in the building, 2615.
Sick, man. Oh, thank you for sitting down.
Yeah, man, you're going to give me a hug and a kiss?
Yeah, I'll give you a hug and a
Oh,
kiss.
man, all right, here we go.
Thank you for being such a mentor and a friend to me as well, man. I really appreciate it.
No worries, man. And yeah, super proud of this guy here. You're doing a lot of great stuff, so I can't wait to see where you go. 1 million subscribers in the next 12 months. You heard it from here first. Like and subscribe. Let's go.
Let's go. 100 first. Sick. Thank you, man.